So I'm Dr. Cowan.
Is it working? Sorry.
Sorry for the bright light here. So we're doing a little bit of Dysport today on our patient. And we're going to talk a little bit about her muscles and do a little prep through the area and then do the procedure. It's a really quick procedure. Our Dysport is something that we inject into the muscle that actually relaxes the muscle, which is a temporary thing because our muscles are very smart and they tend to make new receptors over a couple of months and come back into action. So we'll do little injections into the muscles that we want to relax today, and it won't take very long. And I'll talk about that as we move through.
Okay. So take this off.
I'll take your cool pack. And I'm just going to prep the skin with a little bit of alcohol, and we'll talk about muscles that we're going to relax today. And we have a little bit of experience, so we've learned some things about your muscles because everyone's muscles are unique. So I'm going to get a swab to point since I prepped that already. So in our glabellar area, which is the area between the brow, nice little depressor area, we're going to do a couple, 3 injections. So frown for me if you will and hold it. Good. So we see our procerus in the center, which is flanked by a corrugator on the right and a corrugator on the left. And relax. Now we know that we can do a small dose through here without having to do the full dose, and we get a really nice relaxation. So we're only going to treat the procerus and the head of each corrugator, not really having to treat the tail. So not a full dose in that area. We get a very nice relaxation, a little lift and separate. Now the forehead muscle we've treated before, we've learned some things. So today we're only going to treat the very center of frontalis so that we have some relaxation through here, but we're going to leave the outsides free, and when we do that we get a nice lift. If we put a little bit of relaxation here, it's too much for this patient. So we're going to leave it free and let it move and give us a pull using a very small dose in the frontalis, about a fifth of the dose of what we would use for the full frontalis. So small dosing today gives us some nice relaxation, looks very natural.
Yes.
How are you doing? Are you ready for your injections?
I'm ready.
Okay. So I'm going to start with procerus in the very center. So I'd like for you to really relax your muscles of your face. So take a big breath in and blow it out. Relax everything. Good. And I'm going to press on procerus. And give a small breath in, if you will. And we'll jiggle the skin. A little pinch and blow it out. Good. That's about 0.1 ml of volume, and it's saline, so we get a little bit of a raised area that will absorb in the next 15 or 20 minutes. Completely normal. How are you doing?
Good. It doesn't hurt at all.
Good. I'm going to move over to the right, so back in your zone, and small breath in, if you will. Tiny pinch and blow it out. And again, 0.1 ml. Sometimes we can have a little red dot or no red dot, completely normal. And then move over to the left, and we're going to do an injection there. Small breath in again, tiny pinch and blow it out. Good. And we've done those things to minimize our chance of bleeding and bruising. Nice job. How are you?
Good.
So you have 3 little raised areas there, which is completely normal.
Now there are things that I had to do beforehand. I couldn't have aspirin or NSAIDs, which are like Advil and things like that, right? So
absolutely. Your aspirin-based products, your non-steroidals like Motrin, ibuprofen, Aleve, naproxen, and then your omega-3s like fish oils and krill oils and flaxseed. So we hold those if we can. Sometimes patients are on aspirin and they can't stop, and then we talk about what to do then. But we try to do that to minimize any bruising in the area. And your skin's doing perfect. So I'm going to move to the frontalis muscle, which is our last injection. So if you'll lift up the brow for me, and we see the contraction of the muscle in the center here, and relax down. And right in the center, we'll do our last one. So get back into your zone, okay? Give a small breath in, tiny pinch and blow it out. Good. Perfect. And you're done.
Thanks. So why Dysport over Botox? So what's the difference really? Like people say Dysport and Botox. So I got Botox or I got Dysport. So I'm doing Dysport.
So good question. There are currently 4 blockers on the market. Obviously, Botox kind of got the name, so it's the most popular one. In my office, we screen you medically to make sure you don't have any contraindications to the certain blockers because there's different nuances. And you really did not have any contraindications to the 2 that we do in this office, so you could choose which one. And when you and I initially talked, we said, hey, what are some of the perks of Dysport?
Right.
One is that, their claim to fame is that it feels and looks more natural. It does have a little bit better price point, but it's not a generic form of Botox or anything like that. And it kicks in a little bit faster, and in some folks it can last longer. So those are some nice advantages if you're a good candidate for Dysport.
Yeah, because it's been, 4.5 months-ish? So that's pretty good, right?
It's really good. In the literature, we know that the blockers really last about 3 to 3.5 months.
Okay.
But anecdotally, we can see with Dysport that some folks will get longer with it.
Very good. I'm excited. So I'll wait. I'll sit up. I have to sit up for 4 hours, right? Keep and do my little exercises. And then, 4 days or so, 5-7 days, I should see. Start to feel the effects of it, right?
Absolutely. So the first 4 hours afterwards, I want you to stay upright.
Okay.
And don't press on it. And I have you work it a little bit every half an hour, just to facilitate the uptake into the muscle.
Right.
We know it takes about 4 hours for that to happen, so that's why I want you to stay up and not press on it.
Okay.
I want it to absorb where we put it. So we don't want it to move to another muscle group.
Perfect.
And then with Dysport, 2 to 5 days, it starts to kick in. So everyone's different. I think you were about 4 days with that. And then your max effect is 2 weeks.
Got it.
But with Dysport, you get a lot of that up front.
Yeah.
Which is one of the advantages.
Yeah, I could really feel it start to work around 4 days. So yeah. Okay.
So you should anticipate that again.
Perfect. Well, I'm excited.
You did great.
Thank you.
You did amazing.
And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.